Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday. Apologies for the podcast coming out a little later this afternoon. Had a few things I had to get to this morning. So here we go. Ravens, Orioles, it's a huge weekend. Before I get to that, yeah, frustrating night yesterday. If you took the Patriots, should have just taken the under for the game. Overthought it by taking the under for the Jets points. Thought the Patriots would keep it close, but Aaron Rodgers was really, really good yesterday. Dink and dunk for most of the game, but that's all they really needed. Just a long drive after long drive. Didn't really come away from the game, super down on the Patriots. It just felt like they didn't get the ball very much. Their defense got some pressure, not enough, and Rodgers got out of the pocket all the time. He's just making plays. So, wrong side of that one. I got to speak positivity here into existence for this weekend. Got the Monday night game right. But then Thursday night, not so much. And then the props, it sucked if you had any props for the Patriots yesterday. I know they both had Stevenson to go over his yards, but he just never got any carries. Patriots barely had the ball. So, yeah, that was that last night. And we'll see. I like the board this weekend. I'm excited for the games. Just got to prove it. I can't talk about it. Just got to prove it. So that'll happen on Sunday. Full slate of college football tomorrow. Jack and I are going to do a podcast, have that out in the morning. And yeah, we'll talk Ravens in a second. I think the Orioles kind of beating a dead horse by going over how many games they need to clinch and how many games they're up and how many games are left. At this point, I think we probably all know the circumstances. It's just easier if they just win, right? Instead of trying to do math, just easier if they win. Not giving up hope here of the division. You never know. Oakland, they're scrappy, so we'll see. The Yankees got to go to Oakland. We're 4 games back, and they just got to win. Got to win. It's Burns tonight, Povich tomorrow, and then Suarez, Westberg, and Arias look like they're headed back. They haven't made any announcement. I was kind of hoping that since I was doing it later that they might have made an announcement. No announcement yet. Mountcastle not back yet. Coolum should come back. So I wouldn't be surprised if one or two of them are announced that they're back today. If not, maybe they're already here for New York on Tuesday. But we'll see. They just got to win. I think everybody's probably watching tonight with like just deep breath here. Just win the game. Yesterday was so much fun. Hasn't been fun in a long time. Wasn't fun there towards the end as Dominguez tried to blow the game. And then Soto, of all people, comes in, gets a double play. And then Santander, clearly the MVP of this team this year, hits a huge, huge home run. Ball barely got out. It was like, oh man, like willed it out of there. So we'll see what happens tonight. And the Ravens. Let's talk Ravens here. I wanted to have a slightly different approach to the Ravens Cowboys game because, the headlines I think are fairly obvious. Cowboys get blown out last week. They can't stop the Saints at all. Every time the Saints are on the field, they're scoring. And the Ravens couldn't beat a crappy Vegas team. So it feels like a must win for both teams. And then when you kind of peel back the curtain and you look at the X's and O's, you're like, how's Dallas going to win this game? Because the Ravens really match up well with the Cowboys. They they should dominate offensively running the football. It's probably the best matchup the Ravens could ask for, you know, going into this game because the Cowboys can't stop the run. They were terrible against the run last year. The Saints were able to run it right through them. As long as the Ravens just commit to running the football, I feel like they're going to win this game going away. If they don't, it's going to make me feel like the season's just over with because this is a really good matchup for the Ravens. Even if the Cowboys would have won last week, going into the season, we just match up really well with Dallas. And then on the other side of the ball, their offensive line is just shaky, and I don't. They're not going to be able to run the ball. They're going to be one dimensional, and their tight end Ferguson's hurt, so they're just going to look for CeeDee Lamb. I was down on the Cowboys before the year. The Ravens should win this game. From a gambling standpoint, it feels like a gift. If the Ravens just would have won by 10 points last week, like they were supposed to, and didn't have some of those fluky plays at the end of the game, bad punt, pass interference, just can't get off the field there against Minshew, probably would have been 3.5, 4 point favorites. So it's a better matchup for the Ravens against the Cowboys. If you're betting against the Ravens, if you're fading the Ravens, I think you probably just don't believe in them at all for this season. I think if you're being honest as a Ravens fan, like I think a lot of things can be true, but both things can be true that it's really frustrating that we lost the way that we lost. And it feels like we blow these fourth quarter leads way too often, but also that we're a way, way better team than Dallas. Like this roster has been built. It's a really good roster. The offensive line obviously has its struggles. It's going through some different things, but also you got to remember they don't practice as much during the summer. So it takes a minute if you're going to have some new offensive linemen in there. Micah Parsons obviously can ruin the game by himself. That it feels like that's the only way we lose. As long as we contain the, just don't let him ruin the game. We can win this game 17-13. We can win this game 30-24. And we can win this game in a variety of ways. The Cowboys can only win this game, in my opinion, is if they force turnovers on the Ravens because they're not going to be able to stop us from going up and down the field. So it's just a matter of do we get in the red zone and do silly things? Do they get their hands on a couple balls that Lamar's throwing? To me, there's a lot more. If they're playing this game 100 times, the Ravens are winning this game 70 times. A lot more things have to happen for the Cowboys to win than for the Ravens. This Ravens team has its issues. To me, it's a buy low, great opportunity. And they could even lose next week against Buffalo and still be fine. The Buffalo matchup's not a great matchup for him. We'll talk about that next week, but this is a good matchup. Dak's going to be in the same spot every time. He can't move back there. He doesn't like to move. He doesn't move. Cowboys offense is not extremely innovative. The way the Cowboys get rolling is they get the lead on you, and then they can unleash the pass rush, and they know that you can't run the football. That's the only way they win this game. Ravens just got to be patient. Even if they get down 7-0 like they did against Kansas City, just battle back. Easier said than done, but when you have the better team, you just got to relax and let the game play out. You don't have to press. I think it's a really good matchup for the Ravens, and I'm certainly not a homer when it comes to this Ravens team. It's been like that for several years. I haven't really believed in the Lamar teams. I haven't loved the way they've been built. I didn't like the team last year, and they actually surprised me. This year, I don't love that they got rid of Zeitler. I thought that was kind of a curious thing. So I knew it was going to take a second for the offensive line. And it sucks that we lost McDonald, but I like Orr. I think he's great energy. I think Simpson on defense is an upgrade. And I think Derrick Henry, if they can just commit to running the football and not make it complicated. I was looking at the 2019 roster just for the hell of it the other day, and I was going to do a whole thing about it. And I was like, I don't want to be so negative here and talk about these receivers and how Lamar just didn't have very many weapons, but yet that team was the best team of the Ravens era. And the defense had a lot less names than you can imagine, but they had an identity. They were committed to running the football. I think I talked about this on Monday. I know I've been annoying my friends with this, but Patrick Ricard is the secret weapon. He should be on the field for the majority of the offensive plays. The identity of the offense is the two tight ends and Ricard and Derrick Henry, not Zay Flowers. Like that is the special bonus piece. That's how the offense was run in 2019 with Hollywood Brown, and it works. Now, it doesn't mean the receivers love it. Doesn't mean it's easy to recruit wide receivers in the offseason. Doesn't even mean Lamar loves it. So it's a delicate balance, but that is, if you're trying to win, and you look at the construction of the team and what you're good at, you keep the other team off the field. I just watched it yesterday as the Jets just had the ball the entire game. Sometimes it's not that complicated. And that 2019 Ravens team, teams they couldn't get the ball. So then they started pressing on offense because they knew they were only going to have a handful of possessions. What we did against the Raiders is malpractice because you just can't even let them get the ball back. It's so easy for the Ravens to get 10 yards in 4 downs. You know how many times we went for it on 4th down in that 2019 team? We don't have to throw the ball. Like we can do very short throws. I just watched Rodgers do it last night. He moved like they don't move like Lamar. They don't have the offensive line that we have in New York. Like our offensive line is still better than that. We have the second, third best center in the whole league. We can make checks at the line. We have the ability to just say, can we just run the ball, quick throws, quick 4 yards here, 6 yards there, go down the field because it's a long season. It's not about it's a war of attrition in the NFL. The best teams at the end of the year usually are the teams that are the healthiest. So you keep the defense off the field, you make things easier. I'd like to see that approach. I don't know if that'll be the approach. I knew that would be the approach if Greg Roman was here. I'm not sure. The Ravens hopefully got their medicine in the championship game last year about you don't have to just win the best way, not the way that might don't pull a Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Try to throw the ball in on the 2 yard line. Don't overthink it. Just God Almighty, just run the football. So we'll see how that all plays out. Good luck to you guys with your bets for tonight. If you're betting on anything, good luck to you. I know Illinois plays Nebraska tonight. That should be a relatively entertaining game. I really haven't watched as much college football. I think I'm going to watch some more this week. Got plans in the afternoon tomorrow, but I want to watch the Tennessee Oklahoma game, and then going to talk myself into betting on Baylor against Colorado. Then we're going to have a good weekend on Sunday, period, because I'm having a good show on Monday. That is that. So have a good day. Have a good night, guys. Last weekend home series in Baltimore. So if you're going to the game, enjoy it. And yeah, if you need me, if you have any questions about anything, just get in touch. I'll see you guys. Jack and I are going to do the podcast most likely late tonight. Sometimes it might be early in the morning, but late tonight, probably. I'll put it out early in the morning, though. All right. Have a good night, guys.